Introduction to the Divine Dragon Ring. Come and read more of my works on the website of Yuan. Obtain the Divine Dragon Ring. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 100 yuan. At least 1,000 yuan. Look at what a beautiful dragon, this carving worker, this appearance, and this dark color. It was made in an unknown era, or maybe my business is not doing well recently, and due to the damn epidemic, I won't sell it at this price. The street vendor in his 40s had an excited expression on his face, and Bai Xiaopeng was drooling all over his face. At a fixed price of 205, if you don't sell it, I won't take it anymore. Bai Xiaopeng quickly took out a tissue to wipe away his saliva and made a gesture of wanting to leave. Alright, 4888, you want it. Don't pull it down. The street vendor looked at Bai Xiaopeng helplessly and offered the lowest price. Look at this little chubby guy, he's so fat. Deal. Bai Xiaopeng snatched the ring and put it on his finger. He scanned the WeChat code and gave the street vendor 500 yuan. Foolish, you still want to curse me. You deserve your bad business. Bai Xiaopeng looked down on the unscrupulous boss and walked away triumphantly with his round legs. Returning to the rented house in the suburbs, Bai Xiaopeng looked at the cat, dog, chicken, and duck raised by the landlord. He looked disdainful on his face. Damn it, if my brother didn't earn a lot of money from working, he wouldn't rent this rundown place. He had to walk for half an hour to get to the subway station in the last shift. Bah. Bai Xiaopeng kicked away the big black dog that was rushing to be intimate with him, quickly went back to the room to take a shower, sweating profusely and feeling extremely uncomfortable. After taking a shower and lying on the second-hand sofa, Bai Xiaopeng carefully observed the ring he had just bought. For some reason, whenever he saw the ring at a street vendor, he felt inexplicable and determined to buy it. Otherwise, I will regret it for a lifetime. The ring is black overall, not at all eye-catching, just a vivid dragon carved on the surface of the ring. Bai Xiaopeng touched the slightly protruding faucet on the ring's surface with his thumb, and accidentally exerted too much force. A few days ago, he used a bottom knife to scrape his fingers that were not yet healed, causing bleeding again. Before Bai Xiaopeng could cry out in pain, a gray space appeared in front of him, which was indescribable in size. Then, a dragon suddenly appeared in front of Bai Xiaopeng's eyes. Oh my God! Is this a dragon? Before Bai Xiaopeng could wake up from his confused state, the dragon had already circled around him several times. TSK, thousands of years have passed, and finally I met someone with spiritual roots who turned out to be a fat person. Why isn't she a beautiful woman? The dragon looked unattainable. Little chubby, call me master. I'll give you supreme magic and pretend to take you flying. The dragon looked at Bai Xiaopeng with a proud expression, tugging at him like a 205. Oh, it hurts. Bai Xiaopeng pinched himself and made sure it wasn't a dream. Are you a dragon? Bai Xiaopeng was shocked and stared at the colored dragon. Oh my, the legendary dragon actually appeared, and he had to become his own master, teaching spells that are only found in cultivation novels. Isn't that why I want to become an immortal and call for wind and rain? Of course, brother is an incredibly handsome, magical dragon that has invincible skills in the universe. Without further ado, little fatty, hurry up and kneel down to worship me as your teacher, so that you can pass on your cultivation techniques. When you succeed in cultivation, let me out of this ring space, and brother will take you to soak in the universe fairy. The serpent dragon was excitedly circling around little fatty, unable to help but be excited. After thousands of years of being locked down in the divine dragon ring, it was not easy to encounter a little chubby guy on Earth, an abandoned star, who could still have spiritual roots. Can you not be excited? Bai Xiaopeng is a man who can bend and stretch. What else would he consider if he could become a fairy? He immediately knelt down and kowtowed to the dragon a few times, still making a loud noise. Very good, little fatty. The dragon was satisfied and took out a pill and stuffed it directly into White Little Fatty's mouth. This is the wash marrow pill. Your mortal physique needs to be adjusted before you can cultivate it. Hurry up and practice until you reach the primordial infant stage to break the ban of the divine dragon ring and let me come out. Sigh, my beautiful dragons, I don't know if they think I'm dead after all these years, like other despicable dragons. The dragon murmured to itself, watching as Bai Xiaopeng, who had taken the wash marrow pill, trembled and sweated cold, was undergoing transformation. Pain is inevitable. The process is deadly. Poor and lucky Bai Xiaopeng, on the brink of death, finally managed to survive. Damn it, it hurts so much for me. Bai Xiaopeng, who almost thought he was going to die, glared fiercely at the lustful dragon, without mentioning it in advance, it was so painful. Seeing that Bai Xiaopeng had been renovated, with a wave of his hand, the dragon suddenly tore his clothes and disappeared. Then, a large water ball wrapped up the naked Bai Xiaopeng, and the water ball combined a sauna with a scrubbing function to clean him up, making him look even whiter and fatter. Before Bai Xiaopeng could fully recover, a passing ball ran into his hand and followed the qi cultivation technique, imprinting it deeply in his mind as before. Then, Bai Xiaopeng returned naked to the dilapidated living room, holding a bottle of elixir in his hand. It took him half an hour to recover from his confusion. If it weren't for the feeling of being completely reborn and the pile of cultivation techniques in his mind, Bai Xiaopeng wouldn't have thought it was true even if he were beaten to death. I'm going to be immortal, I'm going to be immortal. I'm going to be immortal, I'm going to be immortal. La 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 la, la 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 la. The whole room was soon filled with the voice of a chubby white duck. Qi cultivation period 1 layer. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Excited for over an hour, Bai Xiaopeng calmed down and began practicing. Sitting in a meditative posture, throwing a yellow dragon pill into his mouth, Bai Xiaopeng began his first life of cultivation according to the cultivation method in his mind. The pill melted at the entrance, and then a warm current rose from the pill field. Under the command of Bai Xiaopeng's consciousness, it slowly flowed according to the route in his mind. It was unknown how much time had passed before Bai Xiaopeng woke up, feeling completely transformed and full of strength. What surprised Bai Xiaopeng the most was that his eyes were super clear in everything he saw, and his myopia was miraculously good. Then, the whispers of a young couple next door could be heard clearly. Then there's hunger, very hungry. After glancing at my phone, I realized that it had been a day and a half, and there was no time for cultivation. The ancient sincerely did not deceive me. Quickly boil water to soak noodles, and after solving the stomach problem, Bai Xiaopeng began to ponder deeply. It is obvious that cultivation was common on Earth thousands of years ago, and the immortals mentioned in current mythological stories were also cultivators at that time. However, it is unknown what happened in ancient times, and by modern times, there are no cultivators anymore. So I should be the only cultivator in modern times. In order to avoid being studied and sliced, I still need to be low-key in my life, at least until I have complete self-protection measures. So let's start by secretly getting rich while practicing. Surprisingly, heaven has given us such a huge opportunity. We can't waste it, can we? Consciously probing into the divine dragon ring, he took out a piece from the pile of spiritual stones piled up like a mountain. As soon as the spiritual stone reached his hand, his whole body felt relaxed and his mind moved. The energy inside the spiritual stone flowed into the meridians, and his cultivation significantly increased. Of course, you need to eat in one bite, and fat people can't grow up in a day. After inhaling this spiritual stone, Bai Xiaopeng had a full hiccup. He was sucking too much and felt like he couldn't continue inhaling it for 3 days, otherwise he would have indigestion. Taking out another spirit stone, Bai Xiaopeng tidied it up, carried a shoulder bag, and went out to realize his wealth plan. Deep Sea City is a special economic zone in China, so the jade and stone market in Deep Sea City is also exceptionally lively. After several subway transfers, Bai Xiaopeng arrived at the jade trading market in Deep Sea City and directly walked into the store with the largest decoration display of Deep.Sea jade signs. A store that can directly use Deep.Sea jade as its signature is definitely the top in terms of strength and heritage in Deep.Sea. As soon as he entered, the first thing Bai Xiaopeng saw was the beautiful saleswomen at each counter, each with a tall and youthful figure, especially the split cheongsam that made our comrade Bai Xiaopeng drool. There were many customers, most of whom were bloated bosses and wealthy women. Bai Xiaopeng walked towards a counter that had no customers for the time being. The beautiful salesperson at the counter glanced at Bai Xiaopeng, who was a loser who relied on experience to gain knowledge, but ignored him. Bai Xiaopeng wasn't in a hurry either. He slowly looked at the jade accessories inside the counter and said, TSK 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 TSK. Bai Xiaopeng strolled through counters one by one, and the salespeople inside were all playing with their phones and applying lipstick. It wasn't until Bai Xiaopeng arrived at a beautiful girl in her 20s, with a ponytail tied and a smile on her face before speaking. Good afternoon, handsome guy. Welcome. What jewelry do you like? I'll take it out for you to choose slowly. Li Mengxue, unlike other salespeople who judge people by appearance, warmly greeted Bai Xiaopeng. Beauty, do you also accept jade and stone materials here? Bai Xiaopeng asked directly. Li Mengxue smiled and said, naturally, could you please show me it first? This way, we can arrange for an appraiser to determine the price. Oh my god, Mengxue is really amazing. What good things can a bumpkin have? That's right, maybe a broken stone was picked up somewhere and used as a treasure to sell for money, hehe. Several salespeople in the neighboring cabinet started talking quietly, looking down on Bai Xiaopeng, who was dressed in street vendors. Bai Xiaopeng had no ear power. Even if they were very quiet, they could hear it clearly. They immediately took out the spirit stone and handed it to Li Mengxue with a graceful expression. They also took the opportunity to slide their jade hands. Li Mengxue chuckled as she took the spirit stone and exclaimed in surprise, this. I saw a warm current emanating from the emerald green spirit stone, slowly flowing into my body. Li Mengxue, who had been standing for several hours and was already very tired, was shocked and exhausted. This magical thing has never happened before, even the most expensive jade cannot have such an effect. Bai Xiaopeng looked proudly at Li Mengxue in shock and asked, how's it going? Is it okay? Li Mengxue reluctantly returned the spirit stone to Bai Xiaopeng and excitedly said, I'll take you to the appraisal room to authenticate Master Zhang. If such a strange jade is worth a lot of money, these 5 points of commission would be a very considerable amount. Fortunately, she didn't judge people by their appearance. The first bucket of gold. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Following Li Mengxue into a testing room filled with various instruments, I saw several elderly men in their 60s busy testing various strange-shaped stones. Li Mengxue approached an old man with gray hair, wearing a branded suit and golden glasses, and respectfully said, Master Zhang, this guest has brought a very magical stone. Could you please identify it? Upon hearing this, Master Zhang stopped his work and looked at Li Mengxue, then turned to Bai Xiaopeng who was closely following him. Bai Xiaopeng stopped talking nonsense and handed the spirit stone in his hand directly to Master Zhang. Master Zhang, who took over the spirit stone, was so shocked that he almost fell to the ground and stared at it, muttering to himself, is this the legendary spirit stone? It has a spirit stone that can strengthen the body and provide energy to ancient cultivators. Feeling waves of warm water slowly nourishing his body, Master Zhang's back pain and soreness were all being eliminated. What else could it be if it weren't the legendary spirit stone? Master Zhang grabbed Bai Xiaopeng's little chubby hand and excitedly asked, "Little brother, where did you get this spirit stone? Is there anything else?" Bai Xiaopeng withdrew his hand without leaving a trace and said to the excited Master Zhang, "I found this while hiking on Wudang Mountain. It's just this one piece. How much can you pay?" 1 million. Little brother, I am willing to spend 1 million to buy your stone. No sincerity. Not for sale. Master Zhang tightly grasped the spirit stone and stared at Bai Xiaopeng, afraid that he would snatch it back. 10 million. Little brother, this is enough for you to use. 100 million, don't sell a penny less. You'll have to pay the taxes yourself. You think I'm a fool? A spirit stone that can transform the human body is priceless, even though it's only the size of a matchbox. It can be said that the entire earth may not be able to find a single piece. Don't be so greedy. How much is 100 million? Do you know? Bai Xiaopeng's hand was full of energy, and the spirit stone somehow returned to his own hands. Master Zhang was surprised. His skills turned out to be just a practitioner, so he couldn't force himself. So, little brother, let's go to the tea room for tea. I need to consult the boss before we can make a decision. Master Zhang gave Li Mengxue a color. Li Mengxue quickly bent down and made a gesture of invitation to Bai Xiaopeng, but even though she missed the light, she was shocked by the price of 100 million yuan. 100 million. Does this chubby guy sell a stone and become a billionaire? What's wrong with this world? Is it so easy to make money? Bai Xiaopeng glared fiercely at Li Mengxue's chest. Wow, it's so big. Then he followed Li Mengxue to the tea room. Master Zhang immediately called his boss Lin Junjie, saying that he would take this spirit stone no matter what, in case it was the only one in the world. Missing it will regret it for a lifetime. Lin Dong, today a young man came over with a stone the size of a matchbox. He held it in his hand and felt a warm current flowing into his body, which was very comfortable. After only holding it for a while, I felt much better from my old illness and rheumatism. That's not the legendary spirit stone. I'll come over right away. In less than 15 minutes, the owner of this shop, Lin Junjie, rushed over. Bai Xiaopeng was drinking tea and chatting with Li Mengxue about the ups and downs of life when he saw a middle-aged man with great temperament who looked like a successful person walking in after Master Zhang. Bai Xiaopeng knows that this is the shop owner, Mr. Lin. Lin Junjie first warmly shook hands with Bai Xiaopeng, and then couldn't wait to see the spirit stone for a moment. Bai Xiaopeng didn't show any affectation and handed it to Lin Junjie. Lin Junjie was overjoyed and held his hands for a moment to feel it. It's unbelievable, little brother. 100 million yuan is no problem, do you still have it? I want as much as possible. Lin Dong joked, where else would there be such a treasure? Bai Xiaopeng knows that this incredible treasure cannot be said to exist even if it is beaten to death. Even if there are mountains piled up in the divine dragon ring, it is not meant for cultivation. Compared to worldly money, it is completely incomparable. If it weren't for improving life, it would definitely not be possible to exchange it for money. Seeing that Bai Xiaopeng didn't let go, Lin Junjie didn't force it either. Later, he asked Bai Xiaopeng for an account and arranged to transfer 1 billion yuan directly. Upon receiving the payment information, Bai Xiaopeng, who was already a billionaire, quickly left. Before leaving, my fingers left a small hole on the tea table and stared at Lin Junjie. I don't like trouble. Believing that Lin Junjie can become such a big boss, he naturally knows how to control his own and a few subordinates' mouths. Rich now. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. After Bai Xiaopeng left the deep sea jade store. Buy. All kinds of purchases. Clothes must be Armani's. Watches and Rolex are not up to par, and Patek Philippe is only 100 million yuan, so it's just careless. Dinner, 1 Australian lobster is not enough, 2 more. I can't finish eating, can't I see? It wasn't until 9 p.m. that I found a 5-star hotel and a presidential suite, satisfying the addiction of the nouveau riche. After taking a shower, in order to have a way to save life, it is important to learn the spells that need to be learned as soon as possible. During the qi cultivation period, you can learn techniques such as fireball, wind blade, and steel shield. For instance, you must practice 3 layers of qi in order to be able to practice the technique of imperial protection, otherwise your true qi cannot keep up. Practice is dull and uninteresting, and one can only persist and persist. Fortunately, Bai Xiaopeng should indeed have spiritual roots and learn everything quickly. The next day, at dawn, he learned the basic fireball technique. Looking at the fireball constantly beating in my palm, it's fake to say I'm not excited. After finishing the buffet breakfast at the hotel, Bai Xiaopeng continued to learn how to use the golden steel shield. When encountering danger, his true qi filled his whole body, making it impossible for knives and guns to penetrate and bullets to penetrate. Unless he used a more powerful sniper gun, he wondered if he could harm himself. Of course, in this situation, run away. Who is so foolish to stand and shoot someone? When it comes to escape, one must learn the technique of riding the wind, which is much more impressive than the so-called lightness skills of heroes in movies. In the next few days, Bai Xiaopeng learned the techniques of wind control and wind blade, and then ended his tedious cultivation. It's time to enjoy it. Let's balance work and rest. Otherwise, even if we become true immortals, we won't have much fun. Anyway, after teaching the cultivation method to that dragon, he continued to sleep soundly. It's not until the qi cultivation period is full, so don't disturb him to sleep. Stinky dragon, not at all responsible. Besides the mountains of spirit stones and 100 bottles of yellow dragon pills, there are no other magical weapons or symbols visible in the divine dragon ring. All of them are placed in prohibited places by the color dragon. Even if Bai Xiaopeng keeps drooling, don't dream of wanting these things until the dragon says a word to build a foundation. It's always inconvenient to stay in a hotel, so it's better to buy a suite. You also need to prepare a car, but fortunately, I got a driver's license in college. Early that morning, putting on a newly purchased Armani suit and a Patek Philippe watch, Bai Xiaopeng headed straight to Bentley's Fourth Sun store. People rely on clothing, horses rely on saddles. As soon as he entered the store, the beautiful salesperson at the entrance warmly greeted him, making tea and flirting, allowing Bai Xiaopeng to enjoy the admiration and respect that only wealthy people could enjoy. It's better to have money. If you have money, you have status. At first glance, Bai Xiaopeng was impressed by Bentley's latest off-road vehicle, Xianxia. He swiped his card and raised the price to pick up the car. The money was indeed a good thing, and he smashed it with an additional 200,000 yuan. In the afternoon, he completed the temporary license plate and insurance procedures. Driving a Bentley, Bai Xiaopeng tirelessly went to a well-known real estate development in the suburbs of Deep Sea City and fell in love with a single well-decorated villa. It's just 50 million, it's a small idea, buy it. Afterwards, all kinds of home appliances will choose big brands, urgent, it's just money, brother has plenty. 5 days later, Bai Xiaopeng moved into the new villa as he wished. Now I have my own private place to practice. Next, take your medicine. Absorbing spirit stones. Bai Xiaopeng is patient and ready to practice in one breath until the qi cultivation is complete. The plan is perfect, the reality is bone-like. Comrade Bai Xiaopeng, after reaching the 5th level of qi cultivation, suddenly received a phone call, which disrupted Bai Xiaopeng's successful plan. Xiaopeng, your father is hospitalized. Come back quickly. The hospital examination shows that he is in the late stage of liver cancer, and it's all because of that dead old man. After retirement, he doesn't quit smoking and has a lot of drinking friends. This will not cause any health problems. Little chubby mother cried and scolded her father. "Mom, don't worry, I'll be right back." Bai Xiaopeng couldn't stand his mother's nagging attitude. He quickly hung up the phone, picked up a few sets of clothes to change and wash, and drove to Guanghai Cancer Hospital, 200 kilometers away from Deep Sea City. Guanghai Cancer Hospital is a nationally renowned cancer hospital, and those who suffer from cancer in nearby cities usually come here. Bai Xiaopeng rushed to the hospital at 3 p.m. and almost couldn't recognize his father's haggard appearance. "It's only been a few months now, how did it turn out like this?" Upon asking, I found out that I had advanced liver cancer and suddenly collapsed. Originally, the hospital kept patients confidential, but no one from my mother would nag without a security door. The attending physician saw Bai Xiaopeng coming and knew it was Lao Bai's son. He took him to the office and directly said to take him home. He wanted to eat delicious food and there was no need to waste money here. People also suffer. The meaning is to prepare for the aftermath. Bai Xiaopeng naturally cannot give up. Since the hospital has issued a death notice, he can only find a solution on his own. Quickly enter the consciousness of the divine dragon ring and find the serpent dragon. At this point, there is no fear of disturbing the serpent dragon and causing it to fall asleep. Dad is dying, why bother with so many rules and regulations? Fortunately, Sei Long still had a bit of human touch. He threw a bottle of elixir to Bai Xiaopeng and then continued to pursue his dreams of spring and autumn. The ancient text on the pill bottle reads, Ji Xing San. The efficacy is unknown, but it is unlikely that Sei Long can provide ineffective pills. Returning to the hospital room, Bai Xiaopeng couldn't help feeling sad and tearful when he saw his mother there. His father and mother had been bickering all their lives, but their relationship was also very strong. Seeing that the lean kanji just called by his mother was still there, Bai Xiaopeng found a reason to ask his mother to go to the doctor to get some medicine, and then took out a pill, crushed it, put it in the kanji, and stirred it evenly. He helped his father to feed the medicine himself. Old Bai didn't want to eat at all, but under the gaze of Bai Xiaopeng's red eyes, he still took a few bites of face. I don't know if the medicinal effect of the pill was too magical. After a while, Lao Bai's spirit improved significantly and his appetite improved. He even felt hungry and took the initiative to ask Bai Xiaopeng to feed him the whole bowl of porridge and finish it. Miracle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After drinking kanji, Lao Bai went to sleep. Seeing his face turning ruddy, Bai Xiaopeng was relieved. When my mother came back, she was surprised to see old Bai sleeping so soundly that she didn't even have a cough. The first question was that I had just drunk kanji. It seemed that it was different to eat something, so I didn't ask too much. Taking care of old Bai these days was also tired, and he fell asleep soon after lying down in the nursing bed. Bai Xiaopeng saw that his parents had already rested, so he left to eat at a restaurant outside. He was in a hurry all the way and didn't even come to eat. Knowing that his parents wouldn't wake up so quickly, Bai Xiaopeng found a self-service restaurant and slowly started eating the buffet. At the same time, think about how to improve the living conditions of parents, because the cultivation needs to be kept confidential, so it is not realistic to live with parents. Money is no longer a problem, so buy a big house near your hometown for the 2 elderly people to live in, and hire a nanny to take care of them. Bai Xiaopeng slowly ate and thought, as long as he settled in with his parents, then he could focus on his cultivation. When Bai Xiaopeng returned to the hospital, it was already 7 o'clock in the evening. He packed a portion of abalone and sea cucumber soup for his mother to eat. Mom had worked hard and clearly aged a lot. It's time to supplement it. Bai Xiaopeng also added a pill to the soup. I believe the conditioning effect can also be magical. Mom happened to get up too. After drinking the soup brought by Bai Xiaopeng and the abalone and sea cucumber inside, she became mentally alert and pushed the newly awakened Bai to undergo a routine examination. Bai Xiaopeng also needs to be checked at the hospital to rest assured. If everything is okay, he will be discharged from the hospital. Miracle. How could it be like this? Unexpectedly, there are no cancer cells left. How could this be? Hurry up and double-check, may the machine malfunction. The doctors in the hospital consultation room were all stunned and incoherent, especially Professor Wang, the attending physician. He had been responsible for diagnosing Lao Bai's illness, and he was in the late stage of cancer. It can be said that there was nothing to save him. To put it bluntly, go back and wait for a few days to die. The review and inspection report is out, and the data of various indicators of Lao Bai is normal and can no longer be normal. No, it should be said that his body is even healthier than that of people of this age. Nurse, do you need any special medicine this afternoon? No, because everyone is ready to go home. Then quickly check the surveillance. See if there's anything special happening this afternoon. In the monitoring room, I only saw that Lao Bai had drunk a bowl of congee, slept for a while, and then got up and directly pushed Ms. Wu to check. Professor Wang watched the monitor and played it back several times, and finally determined that it was the bowl of porridge he had drunk, because it was obvious that after Lao Bai had drunk porridge, his pale face slowly turned ruddy, and at the same time, he coughed after a while. After drinking congee, he didn't cough at all, and he slept soundly afterwards. Bai Xiaopeng soon, our comrade Bai Xiaopeng invited Professor Wang to an independent office. My father's illness was cured by giving me a pill left by an old Chinese medicine practitioner. But this pill is the only one left. Bai Xiaopeng knew he couldn't hide it, so he admitted it directly, but the door was closed. Anyway, there's nothing left. What can you do? Professor Wang excitedly asked, which old Chinese medicine practitioner? Tell me quickly, this is a miraculous doctor. I want to invite him to treat numerous cancer patients and benefit the people. I don't know, but one time I went to Wudang Mountain to play, I saw an old man selling pills in the night market, saying that he was an old Chinese medicine passed down for 10 generations, which can cure all kinds of diseases. I was curious and bought 2 pills, one because I had diarrhea at the time. I took it immediately and felt like it was a good medicine. The next day, wherever I went, I didn't see the old man again. It was all a few years ago. Bai Xiaopeng pushed it to the so-called divine doctor who couldn't be found. Who would love to find him? Professor Wang stared at Bai Xiaopeng with some suspicion, but at his age, it was clearly impossible to say that he had created this pill. I can only belong to the hermit masters who see the head but not the tail. Mr. Bai, do you really have one more? I won't just buy those 2, right? If so, I beg you to give us one for our research. This is a blessing for many patients. Professor Wang bowed deeply and stared at Bai Xiaopeng with excitement. Bai Xiaopeng originally didn't want to give it out, after all, spreading it would be more troublesome. However, seeing Professor Wang's sincere demeanor, and considering that if he really develops it for them, it is indeed a divine medicine that benefits humanity. There are still many in my own divine dragon ring, but even if I use more, I will still use 1 grain less. My main focus is on cultivation. Although there are alchemy methods, I don't know the year or month of the alchemist yet. The most important medicinal herbs in the single prescription cannot be found on earth now. Bai Xiaopeng took out a porcelain bottle, and there were still 2 left inside, both of which were given to Professor Wang. The only requirement was to keep it confidential because he didn't want his peaceful life to be disturbed. Professor Wang excitedly took the porcelain bottle, thanked him repeatedly, and promised that he would never say he got it from Bai Xiaopeng. And make a promise that in the future, if Bai Xiaopeng's family and friends come to the hospital for treatment, as long as Bai Xiaopeng speaks up, everything will be free and a special grade ward will be arranged. Thanks to Professor Wang's kindness, Bai Xiaopeng requested to be discharged from the hospital. After recovering from the illness, staying in the hospital is not very interesting, so it's better to leave and go home. Returning home in glory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next morning, after completing the discharge procedures, Bai Xiaopeng directly moved his belongings to the rear trunk of Bentley. Looking at the luxury Bentley, the old couple was so shocked that their chins almost fell off. "I've been doing a few jade and stone deals recently and made a lot of money, so buying a good car will also make you two look good. Oh my goodness, our ancestors bless us. Xiaopeng has made a lot of money now. The deep sea is full of gold, it seems to be true." Lao Wu is a face-saving woman who has spent most of her life searching. Now that her precious son will make money, she is so happy that she can't even close her mouth. "Dad and Mom, let's go back and buy a big house with an elevator, and then hire a nanny to take care of you. You two have been working hard for a lifetime, and you should also enjoy yourselves." Okay. We have a new real estate development in the city center, which is the largest and best quality community in the city. It seems to have been developed by a well-known real estate company. "Where?" Old Wu excitedly said without stopping. An hour later, Bai Xiaopeng drove a Bentley to the sales department of the Fugui garden that his mother mentioned. As soon as the car was parked, a beautiful salesperson ran over to help open the car door and enthusiastically helped Comrade Wu get out of the car. Auntie Chang and Auntie were shouting passionately, and it seemed unclear that they thought it was Comrade Wu's daughter. Sun Luolan is around 23 years old, with a tall figure and a fair and beautiful face adorned with light makeup. When real estate sales have been going on for several years, who has the keen eye can tell at a glance that Bai Xiaopeng is a Bentley with at least 5 million yuan, wearing a famous brand and carrying a Patek Philippe. Rich man. Absolute tycoon. In just a few minutes from outside to entering the sales office, Sun Luolan already knew the name of Comrade Bai Xiaopeng. He was doing jade and stone business in the deep sea and made a lot of money. He came back to this city to buy a big house for his parents to live in. Comrade Lao Wu's mouth is too boastful. She sold a spirit stone and almost became the big boss of a jade shop in the deep sea in her mouth. This is a forced act. However, I like it. Seeing my parents so happy. Bai Xiaopeng's mood is also very good. Auntie, how lucky. Little chubby brother is so handsome and can still earn money. Sun Luolan kept flattering and coaxing the old Wu people, who were about to drift away. Arriving at the model, Sun Luolan took a laser pen and began introducing the duplex large apartment in the middle area. In the end, the elderly couple took a liking to the 6th-floor duplex at the center of the community, with 5 bedrooms and 2 living rooms, finely decorated. The living room and large balcony looked like the best green swimming pool in the community. Afterwards, there was a 10% discount on negotiating and signing contracts, as full payment was made. Now Bai Xiaopeng has no concept of money and doesn't have much bargaining power. He just signed the contract. After completing the property procedures in a few days, you can purchase furniture and appliances. Bai Xiaopeng was too lazy to pay attention to the rest of the matter and directly transferred 5 million yuan to his mother, allowing her to watch and buy whatever she wanted. After signing the contract, Sun Luolan reluctantly returned home with a hint of shyness. It takes half an hour by car to reach Baijia village. Bai Xiaopeng's home is located at the innermost part of the village, near the mountains. There is a sun-drying valley of about 100 square meters at the entrance, and parking is very convenient. Half an hour later, the whole village knew that Bai Xiaopeng had made a fortune in the deep sea. Soon, neighbors began to come knocking at Bentley, all around them admiring and envious. "Big brother, your nephew has been graduating from college for a few years now and hasn't found a suitable job yet. Why don't you let Xiaopeng take care of him? They are all brothers who grew up together since childhood. Bai Gu, does Xiaopeng have a girlfriend?" "That little girl from my aunt's house, named Meichi, works as a teacher at the town primary school. She looks so handsome. Uncle Air, I bought a commercial house in a small community in town, and I still need over 100,000 yuan to buy furniture and appliances. Can you borrow some to help my nephew get through this difficult time?" Her aunt, Xiaopeng is making a name for herself. What's the way to get rich? She wants to tell the villagers. After a few days of commotion, the property certificate was also issued, and all the furniture and appliances were delivered, all of which were readily available. Bai Xiaopeng and his elderly couple chose an auspicious day for the Chinese zodiac and held a grand housewarming banquet. Every household in the village has been invited, and a total of 100 tables have been set up. Of course, Bai Xiaopeng never forgets to practice, take medicine, and absorb spiritual stones every night. I gradually reached the 8th level of qi cultivation, and the improvement in each level after that was not as fast. Zhaozuiyuan.com. When checking the effect of the pill, Bai Xiaopeng discovered a spirit beast pill, which is said to be used to cultivate spirit beasts. But now besides zoos, there are also some tigers, lions, and other fierce beasts on earth. Where else are there any spiritual beasts? And these fierce beasts are all controlled and protected animals, it's not as easy to get them. In order to test the effectiveness of the spirit beast pill, Bai Xiaopeng bought a big local dog and a big rooster, and returned to his rural hometown. In the dead of night, he fed one pill each. Next is the time to witness miracles. After half an hour of rolling on the ground, the big white dog doubled in size, almost the size of a calf, with several large fangs shining brightly on its mouth. The transformed big white dog ran affectionately to Bai Xiaopeng, shaking its head and tail. His mouth was open, as if he wanted to eat the beast spirit pill. Do you still want to eat it? Have you digested it? Bai Xiaopeng expressed doubt, as it would take several days to digest one pill on his own. The big white dog anthropomorphized and nodded, exaggerating its big mouth as if a child wanted adults to feed it. Hey, this dog has turned into sperm. Dogs that can understand human language are not uncommon, what's rare is dogs that can respond and have human intelligence. Bai Xiaopeng threw another beast spirit pill into big white dog's mouth, and then waited for it to digest and transform. The exception is that the big rooster on one side has also been renovated, with twice its size, more beautiful feathers, and a much sharper beak. If it were given a peck, it would be so delicious, tsk. After the renovation of the big rooster, it actually waved its beautiful wings and circled around Bai Xiaopeng, flying around in circles. After a few big turns, like a big white dog, he pretended to be cute and obedient to ask for the pill. It seems that the beast spirit pill is different from the pills used for human cultivation, and is much milder. The transformation effect is indeed even more amazing. Flying Vehicle Big Rooster. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The efficacy of beast spirit pill is really amazing. The big white dog and the big rooster both digested 5 pills each before stopping. The big white dog has grown to the size of a big bull, with shiny white fur shining brightly. A mouthful of fangs is even more terrifying, and its biting force is definitely 100 times stronger than the most ferocious lions and tigers. The big rooster is not to be outdone. It is about 2 meters long and has a pair of colorful wings. When it opens, it has a peacock-like beauty. What surprised Bai Xiaopeng the most was that the big rooster could spread its wings and float 1 meter above the ground. This is so incredible. How could you be a flying beast? Bai Xiaopeng lifted his true qi and used his technique to control the wind, gently landing on the back of the big rooster. At the same time, Xiaobao wore a handsome guy mask, which is a versatile mask in the divine dragon ring. It can be transformed into any image according to one's heart. Bai Xiaopeng has loved the superstar Lu Aihua since childhood, and naturally became the most handsome when Lu Aihua was young. If it weren't for her fat body, it would be a replica of Lu Aihua. In order to avoid shocking the world, Bai Xiaopeng first placed the big white dog in a small corner of the divine dragon ring, threw down a bottle of beast spirit pill, and let the big white dog slowly take medicine to transform it. As for how far it can ultimately be transformed, it depends on the nature of the big white dog itself. Let's go for a walk on the big mountain behind us. The big rooster, upon receiving orders from its owner, waved its wings lightly and quickly flew over the mountains behind the village. In an instant, Bai Xiaopeng's arrogance soared to the sky, commanding the big rooster to fly from the mountain behind the village to the sky above the city center. From top to bottom, the night in the city is still very beautiful, with colorful lights embellishing the entire city. Mom and Dad, come and see. There's a big rooster in the sky, and there's also a person on top. A child living on the top floor was climbing through his own window and looking out. Baby, that's an eagle. How can a rooster fly? Dad, who rushed over, only saw a small black shadow. What a big bird. No, it looks like a big rooster with a person on top. Astronomy enthusiast Wang Tianwen was watching the starry sky from his balcony with an astronomical telescope. The scene in front of the camera surprised him greatly. When he regained his senses, Bai Xiaopeng rode the big rooster and flashed by. Let's all jump together. Thank you for your tips, thank you for the villa that brother Qing Tian painted, love you. Lulu is dancing live on a certain music channel. A big rooster flew over from a height of several tens of meters, and there was still a person standing on top of the rooster. It was already 11 o'clock in the middle of the night, and Comrade Bai Xiaopeng did not expect that there were still people dancing on the rooftop of the tallest building, still wearing revealing clothes. Hi, beautiful woman, good evening. Bai Xiaopenglu said with a smile that she thought was the most handsome, paired with Lu Aihua's handsome face, quickly killing all the girls. Oh my goodness, Lu Aihua. Lulu was shocked and stared at Bai Xiaopeng with her mouth wide open. This scene was really unbelievable. The big rooster can fly. And have you ever seen a big rooster that is 2 meters long and 1 meter high? Not to mention the handsome superstar Lu Aihua standing on top of the big rooster. Goodbye, beautiful woman. Bai Xiaopeng also knew not to be too high. Profile, commanding the big rooster to raise 100 meters and then leisurely fly back to the village. It's really my first time flying a rooster. I'm too excited, otherwise it would be better to do less of this shocking thing. The next day, a certain blogger discovered a flying rooster in Xicheng, and some people's blog posts began to spread on the rooster. Later, the internet-famous beauty Lulu also incoherently told fans in the live broadcast that she had just seen the superstar Lu Aihua riding a big rooster in the sky. In the office of the leaders of the deep-sea city, Lin Junjie stood respectfully in front of a man in his 50s with a dignified face, who seemed to have only had that aura from a high position for a long time. The man held a light green pendant in his hand, which was made by Lin Junjie using the spiritual stone cut out. After feeling it for more than 10 minutes, he Lao stared at Lin Junjie and ordered, "This matter must be kept confidential and not leaked. I will arrange someone to investigate this by Xiaopeng. Just maintain a good relationship with him on your side and don't offend him. It's beneficial for the country to use such a strange person well. Also, you can find a way to find him and see if you can buy a few more yuan. Money is not a problem. Those ancient martial arts families should be very interested in this thing." He Lao, when Bai Xiaopeng left last time, he easily poked a small hole in my tea room with his finger. Can he still be a master at the level of an innate master? But there are not many masters at the innate level in the world, and they are all at least 60 years old and above. After all, martial arts is accumulated step by step. I have seen the photos you sent and also asked Master Jiuyuan of Shaolin. Master Jiuyuan is certain that only at the level of a master can one enter the wood with his fingers, and he can do it himself, but it's not that easy either. This white chubby guy looks like he's at most 23 years old, and he even reaches the level of a master. It's unbelievable. I will arrange for people from Huan to investigate and find a way to get in touch with this Bai Xiaopeng in the near future. See if you can buy a few more spirit stones, as well as the spirit stone slices you have cut. You can keep a few slices yourself, and give me the rest first. I will be of great use. Okay, there are still 3 pieces here. Lin Junjie took out the last 3 pieces of spirit stone jewelry from his pocket and gave them to He Lao with some pain. Alright, you kid, hurry up and find a way to buy a few more spirit stones. I'll give you a big credit this time. He Lao chuckled at Lin Junjie. Beauty has an appointment. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Bai Xiaopeng arranged for his parents and rushed back to the deep sea. He couldn't bear the 3 aunts and 4 aunts coming to introduce him to a blind date, and the threshold was already crushed. As soon as I returned to the deep sea villa, I received Li Mingxue's WeChat. Mr. Bai, do you have time? I would like to treat you to a meal. Thank you for giving me so much commission that day. Pretty women treat us to dinner, even if we don't have time, we must have time. Where is it located? Brother, fly over. Hee, shall we go to the Deep Sea Venus International Hotel and have Western food? Come now. Do you want me to pick you up? No need, I'll be shopping around here and it'll be there in a few minutes. I'll be waiting for you. Bai Xiaopeng still has a good impression of Li Mingxue, does not despise others, and is also innocent in appearance, which is the type he likes. Talking about love in the midst of boring cultivation is also a kind of adjustment. As for whether Li Mingxue took the initiative to date because Bai Xiaopeng became a billionaire, it doesn't matter. Beauty loves heroes, of course, now it's natural for beauty to love wealth. A beautiful woman with good conditions doesn't want to find a wealthy boyfriend. A man who can make money has the ability. In fact, it's just like how big bosses like to find beautiful women. Since men have money and can find beautiful women, it's normal for beautiful women to find wealthy people. Bai Xiaopeng arrived at the Deep Sea Venus International Hotel, and before entering, he saw Li Mingxue, dressed in a light blue dress with healthy and fair thighs exposed, waiting at the hotel entrance. Mr. Bai, you're here. Li Mingxue smiled and welcomed her, naturally holding on to Bai Xiaopeng's hand as she walked towards the restaurant. Upon arriving at a table by the window where one could see the sea, Li Mingxue sat down and stared at Bai Xiaopeng in surprise. This guy had an ethereal aura, paired with an Armani outfit. Although chubby, he looked very comfortable. Why, haven't you seen handsome guys? Bai Xiaopeng chuckled while admiring Li Mingxue's beautiful face. Li Mingxue's face turned red. Although she was 22 years old, it was her first time dating a man alone. She used to be many suitors in college, but Li Mingxue knew that she came from an ordinary family and couldn't afford to play. She still focused on completing her studies, so she didn't start dating. Besides, breaking up after graduation is also a practical problem that most college couples face. Fortunately, the waiter came over with the menu, avoiding Li Mingxue's embarrassment. While feeling happy, I also feel a little uneasy. What do you want to eat? You can order whatever you want. Then I ordered the expensive one, young man. I'll have the most expensive couples set meal. Bai Xiaopeng saw that there was a couples seafood set meal on the menu, including lobster and abalone soup, which was only 8,888 yuan. Last time, Li Mingxue received a commission of 1 million yuan, so I don't think it would hurt him anymore. Okay, wait a moment, both of you. I'll arrange to do it right away. Seeing that Bai Xiaopeng had a couple package, Li Mingxue was both happy and a little uneasy. Based on a girl's intuition, Bai Xiaopeng likes herself. Of course, I also have a liking for Bai Xiaopeng, who is like a strange person. Being a girlfriend for Bai Xiaopeng is also acceptable, but when I think of Lin Dong's explanation, I feel like I don't know how to speak up. The two of them slowly started chatting while waiting. They talked about work, family, and life. Bai Xiaopeng was still very sincere about the girl he liked. Apart from the cultivation, he couldn't say anything about it. After all, to date, we need to get to know each other first. The speed of serving dishes in the big hotel is quite fast, and in about half an hour, all the dishes will be served. Eating delicious food and chatting softly with beautiful women, Bai Xiaopeng enjoyed his meal to the fullest. After finishing a meal, this one was called Little Fat Brother, and Miss Li became Miss Mingxue. Having had enough to eat and drink, Bai Xiaopeng stared at Li Mengshue's pretty face and asked softly, besides inviting me to dinner, you should have something else to say, right? Li Mengxue was startled and said nervously, before coming, Mr. Lin asked me to ask you if there was any stone left that day. If there is, he hopes to sell it to him at a negotiable price. Bai Xiaopeng knew that Li Mengxue must have come with a task, but selling one piece is selling, and selling a few pieces is also selling. Coincidentally, he also needs some funds, so selling raw is better than selling mature. By the way, he can also increase Mengshue's performance and status. Why not do it? Besides, I will soon reach the perfect qi cultivation period. With the ability to protect oneself, many things can be carried out. Can you ask when Mr. Lin is available? I will meet with him to discuss. Little chubby brother, don't you blame me for inviting you to dinner and talking about work. How could that be? In this lifetime, there are many helplessness, and work and life are inseparable. Besides, Miss Mengxue is my god of wealth, the money-seeking cat who sends me money. Bai Xiaopeng looked at Li Mengxue affectionately, but couldn't even see enough of it. Li Mengxue shyly glared at Bai Xiaopeng, who kept glancing at her chest. She took out the phone and called Lin Dong, turning on the hands-free device but not avoiding Bai Xiaopeng. Lin Dong, I'm Mengxue. Mr. Bai said when you're free, let's have tea together and discuss the transaction. I'm at home now. Where are you now? Do you want me to send a car to pick you up at my house? Lin Junjie asked excitedly. Hello, Lin Dong. Please send the location to Mengxue. I have a car, so I will drive over to your house now. Bai Xiaopeng naturally wouldn't want the other party to send a car to pick him up. Cooperation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Junjie's home is located in the most luxurious deep bay of Deep Sea City, backed by mountains and facing the sea. It can be said that 80% of billionaires in Deep Sea live here. Because I had informed the community security in advance, Li Mengxue registered in the villa area and smoothly entered the villa group with beautiful environment and high landscaping. Following the navigation, we arrived at the entrance of a European-style villa, and Lin Junjie was already standing at the door waiting. Mr. Lin, this house is magnificent. Glancing at the villa, Bai Xiaopeng complimented the locals a few times before entering the study at the warm invitation of Lin Dong. The tea was brewed well, and the nanny with the skills of a tea artist withdrew. Bai Xiaopeng sat next to Li Mengxue, who was a bit reserved, picked up his teacup and squinted, admiring her, good tea. Lin Junjie looked at Bai Xiaopeng eagerly and asked excitedly, does Mr. Bai still have a spirit stone transaction? How many? I'll take any amount. Bai Xiaopeng looked down upon Lin Junjie without any trace. Brother wants to take out a pile of spirit stones, but he doesn't scare you to death. Not much, there are around 100 yuan. What? It's about 100 yuan. I'll take it all, just like before, 100 million yuan. Lin Junjie got excited when he heard that Bai Xiaopeng still had so much, thinking that he would be grateful if he could buy a few more yuan. The price is not a problem, but I don't need so much cash. I'm planning to start a pharmaceutical company and make some pills to contribute to the people. The idea of starting a pharmaceutical company to manufacture pills was already present in the hospital last time. Many cancer patients are unable to receive effective drugs and have left their loved ones. Last time, old Bai, if it weren't for Bai Xiaopeng's pill saving his life, Bai Xiaopeng would have lost his father. Danyao cannot be developed based on the current state of the earth, because the prescriptions for those Danyao contain ingredients such as ginseng and Ganoderma lucidum that have been around for thousands of years. Where can we find them on Earth now? Fortunately, all the drugs in the prescription are found on Earth, except for those with insufficient age. Then let's have a low-grade pill. Don't take it and it will take effect immediately. Just like Comrade Lao Bai did last time, if it scares you to death, it's great. It's enough to take a few days and a half to get better. Mr. Bai wants to start a pharmaceutical company. I do have a pharmaceutical factory under my name, and as long as there is a prescription, any medicine can be made. Lin Junjie is still very confident in this. I want to invest 40% in your pharmaceutical company, and I only provide prescriptions. I don't participate in manufacturing and production management. How much do you think I need to invest? Bai Xiaopeng just wants to benefit humanity, and his cultivation is his main focus. He doesn't have the energy to do these things. It saves him a lot of trouble to take care of Lin Junjie, who has a clear background. My pharmaceutical company is estimated at around 20 billion yuan, so Mr. Bai can give it 6 billion yuan. Looking at Lin Junjie on the street, Bai Xiaopeng felt like he had found the right person. Afterwards, we discussed the details and agreed to conduct the transaction and sign the contract tomorrow morning. Bai Xiaopeng then said goodbye. After leaving the Lin family, Bai Xiaopeng drove Li Mengxue back out to rent a house. Before parting, I secretly kissed Li Mengxue and enjoyed a gentle feeling amidst the latter's half-push and half-action. After returning to his villa, the hourly worker cleaned it up early. Bai Xiaopeng recalled the prescription of Xianxia and changed the old medicinal herbs inside to the old ones. Anyway, for every 10,000 pills produced in the final process, one Xianxia was added to ensure the efficacy while also ensuring that others could not replicate it. Let's first provide Xianxia powder to rescue cancer patients, and the rest will depend on the situation later. Afterwards, it's time to take medicine and absorb spiritual stones. You can't stop practicing, your own strength is the foundation. While Bai Xiaopeng was working hard to cultivate, Lin Junjie came to He Lao's cadre villa. Mr. He handed a document to Lin Junjie and found detailed information about Bai Xiaopeng on the Shuyuan website www.zhaoshuyuan.com, from birth to the companies he worked for. Looking at the information, this is a very ordinary person. This Bai Xiaopeng didn't tell the truth. He hasn't even been to Wudong Mountain. So it's a lie to say that the lincture was found in Wudong Mountain. So where exactly did the lincture come from? We can't find out yet, and Bai Xiaopeng hasn't practiced martial arts with anyone. He rarely participated in physical exercise in college, otherwise he wouldn't be so fat. Strange things have happened recently. A few days ago, Bai Xiaopeng's father suffered from advanced liver cancer and went to Guanhai Hospital for treatment. Professor Wang, in charge, said that Bai Xiaopeng gave his father a pill, and he recovered in a few hours. He finally asked Bai Xiaopeng for 2 pills, which are said to be the last 2 pills. They are currently undergoing testing at Wuxia First Pharmaceutical Company, but the results have not been obtained yet. So Bai Xiaopeng opened a pharmaceutical company because he has a prescription for treating cancer. Well, this. Lin Junjie was shocked by the news, the medicine for treating cancer. There isn't one in the world yet, only drugs to slow down are available, which is not affordable for ordinary families. It should be, but he is willing to take it out for the benefit of humanity. Currently, he seems to be a relatively kind person. Please cooperate with him and make a real cancer treatment medicine as soon as possible. This is a big credit. All relevant parties have given the green light, and I will arrange security personnel to protect your hospital company. Understood, definitely complete the task. The next morning, Bai Xiaopeng and Lin Junjie happily completed the transaction. 100 spirit stones were placed in a large backpack, exchanged for 4 billion bank figures and a share transfer contract. Bai Xiaopeng became a shareholder of the largest pharmaceutical company in the future. Lin Junjie feels fortunate for his decision 10 years later. Foundation construction successful. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The next day for Bai Xiaopeng is to meditate, take medicine and absorb spiritual stones, date Li Mengxue every few days, and live a happy life with a girlfriend. As for the prescription given to Lin Junjie, the rest is the busy work over there. It is estimated that it will take some time to prepare 10,000 medicinal herbs. Until the last step, Bai Xiaopeng won't even pay attention to it. In a blink of an eye, another month has passed, and Bai Xiaopeng has finally reached the perfect period of qi cultivation. Conscious communication with the dragon gave a bottle of foundation building pills, a pile of foundation building period cultivation pills, and a sword, then changed his posture and continued to sleep. I'm too lazy to say a word to Bai Xiaopeng. Bai Xiaopeng excitedly caressed the sword, finally possessing a magical weapon, a flying sword that could reach heaven and earth with great powers and small abilities. Flying with a sword is much more stable and handsome than riding a rooster. At least riding a big rooster, doesn't know how to wield a sword. If he encounters any special circumstances, wouldn't he want to fall to death? Alright now, riding a chicken for long-distance flights and wielding a sword for short distances are both convenient and imposing. Just thinking about it makes me happy. After calming down for a moment, Bai Xiaopeng meditated for a moment and threw a foundation-building pill into his mouth. Suddenly, a huge energy from the pill field began to impact and expand the meridians. The process was painful, and the harvest was also enormous. Bai Xiaopeng is working hard to stimulate his meridians in pain. If one pill is not enough, 2 pills are not enough. If 2 pills are not enough, then only 3 pills are needed. There is nothing that cannot be solved by pills. About 3 hours later, a strong momentum surged into the sky, and Bai Xiaopeng successfully built the foundation. Consciousness has become divine consciousness. With closed eyes and a sweep of divine consciousness, all the ants on the ground within a radius of 10 miles can be clearly seen, but even further away, they will become a bit blurry. Suddenly, a couple of men and women were playing adult games in the neighboring villa, and Bai Xiaopeng's nose was bleeding from it. He quickly left with his divine sense. It's not right. We should pay attention to the privacy of others and not sneak peeks randomly. We are gentlemen. Refreshing and refreshing. Ears and eyes are clear. It's already dawn, so it's better to go back to the countryside and practice flying swords in the mountains. There are many inconveniences in the city. In the deep mountains and forests, a handsome young man, white and chubby, stumbled and flew low on a long sword that was 2 meters long and 15 centimeters wide, occasionally falling off the sword. It is Comrade Bai Xiaopeng who has worked hard to practice flying the imperial sword. Fortunately, this flying sword is a magical tool that can be commanded with only a small amount of divine sense. As soon as he arrived at the mountain, Bai Xiaopeng attempted to command a stone weighing around 100 pounds to soar, but it flew less than 5 meters. The divine sense consumed most of it, which frightened Bai Xiaopeng to stop quickly and only recovered after resting for a few hours. It seems that the ability to smash people with imperial stones is still insufficient. I also understand why the cultivation world requires refining tools, refining magic treasures, spiritual treasures, immortal tools, and divine tools. It's not just to save on the consumption of divine sense. It's said that the higher the level of magic weapon, the more it contains artifact spirits, so it doesn't consume much divine sense at all. Of course, if you haven't reached the level of Bai Xiaopeng yet, don't dream anymore. After practicing continuously for several days, I ate the food packaged inside the Divine Dragon Ring when I was hungry. The Divine Dragon Ring actually has a preservation and insulation function, and the hot and steaming food inside can be taken out just like being put in for many days. This made Comrade Bai Xiaopeng ecstatic. Going to the hotel in the future to arrange for a chef to prepare various cooked and stir-fried dishes will not be much more convenient. A few days later in the morning, over the deep mountains and old forests, a sword light swiftly darted up and down, turning and retreating, and then descending to a height of 1 meter above the ground, shuttling through the forest. Standing on the flying sword and looking up into the air with his hands behind his back, it was Bai Xiaopeng who was playing happily. After skillfully flying with a sword, Bai Xiaopeng returned to his hometown, washed himself briefly, and prepared to return to the deep sea. Now that we have broken through the foundation building, the cultivation speed has slowed down significantly. It is naturally impossible to achieve a rocket-like speed like during the qi cultivation period. Besides, building a foundation, the foundation still needs to be solidly laid, and this will come step by step. As soon as he returned to the deep sea, Bai Xiaopeng received a call from Lin Junjie, saying that the medicinal herbs had been prepared according to the formula provided by Bai Xiaopeng, and asked him to come to the company to teach the technical personnel how to extract the medicinal liquid. That's right, even a smooth pill like Bai Xiaopeng, a foundation building expert with only theory but no practical experience, cannot be refined. Only by moving a living tree can one move to death, and a solution can be devised. Boil it into a liquid medicine in proportion, and only if it has an effect, it will be the same. In the next few days, Bai Xiaopeng stayed at the pharmaceutical factory, guiding the technical personnel arranged by Lin Junjie on how to boil and extract medicinal herbs. After extracting the medicinal liquid from all the herbs, Bai Xiaopeng took out a jisheng powder, crushed it and put it into other medicinal extracts. The machine turned and stirred evenly, and a refreshing fragrance suddenly emanated, refreshing upon smelling it. This effect has been achieved before drinking it. Obviously the pill liquid has been successfully manufactured. The remaining clinical trials and subsequent market launches are the responsibility of J.J. Lin. 1 week later. Major TV stations are broadcasting a shocking news that shocked the world. Wuxia Junjie Pharmaceutical Company has developed a magical medicine for treating cancer, and a bottle of cancer is cut off in the early stages. 3 bottles of mid-stage cancer have their roots cut off, even 10 bottles of late-stage cancer have their roots cut off. You heard me right. It's just a broken heel, completely healed. This is the conclusion after clinical treatment of over 100 cancer patients. Witnessed by national authorities. While the whole country was boiling, our Bai Xiaopeng was holding the pure and beautiful Li Mengxue while shopping in Qingzhong village, Deep Sea City. I'm tired of the lobster and abalone in the big hotel, so it's quite good to occasionally go to the city village to eat various snacks.